so I would just have moments throughout the day where I could feel myself, the stress building and the heat sort of rising in me. And my toddler would just be doing normal everyday toddler type things and slowing you down, getting under your feet and stopping you from doing tasks as efficiently as you would want. And I would just feel myself just getting so cross. And I didn't understand why. I was so confused. I didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah, and this is the crazy thing, right? Because normally like the first thing and normal thing to do is to blame the kid, but then when it's
Mm,
like a little toddler, because yours was like 2 years old,
two, yeah,
right?
she wasn't even two yet. Yeah, almost two. Yeah.
So then what were your hints? Like what were you thinking? Like you just said that you didn't have any idea, but really like absolutely no clue?
No, so I was just all I could think was from sitting down quietly by myself and thinking about it was that I like to be organized and on top of things to manage my day, and that I just wasn't able to do that with a toddler. And definitely when we started like toilet training and potty training, and things just don't happen to plan or to the textbook or like um and so no matter how much prep and organization you do, there's always going to be so much pushback. Um, and it's definitely the pushback that I found such a trigger because um, I felt like she just wasn't listening to me. And that just so for any parent is so frustrating. Yeah, when you're like, I'm trying so hard. Um, that was very often the worst bit, especially if we were out and about and I was trying to get her to do things that I knew were essential tasks, like doing a wee. Um, and if I just had point blank refusal or screaming tantrums, it just your brain sort of goes into overdrive of okay, well, what do I do now? Yeah,
And totally clueless and helpless and powerless, and like
yeah,
yelling is the last thing that actually, yeah, at least makes you feel better for a second before you realize what you did. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
there with you. And so many moms are who are listening, I bet. So this is what it was. And so then you signed up for the training, and you probably heard there, as I explained, that that uncontrollable anger goes back to your past. And that's why it's uncontrollable, because it's so familiar, that feeling of not feeling heard, not being respected, being out of control. So what did that do to you? Do you still remember? Because it's like only 4 months ago, but I
Yeah,
bet it feels like ages.
it really does. It feels like a whirlwind since then. Yeah, so I watched your the free mummy tantrum training originally because I think seeing that tagline, the mummy tantrums, I hadn't heard that phrase before, and that just jumped out at me, and I was like, that is 100% what I'm doing.
It's a little bit
Um,
direct, right?
yeah, no, it is. It's such a good phrase because it just sums it up. And it was like having a tantrum at my child or at my dog, and so that really resonated with me. And I was like, right, okay, I'm just gonna sign up, listen to this. Like, what have I got to lose? Um, so I listened to the training, and it just really hit me quite hard. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like thinking about the emotions that I'm feeling in the moment when I'm feeling so frustrated that haven't really jumped out at me before. That yeah, it just sort of the pieces just kind of fit together. And I think I messaged straight after I'd done the training and I sent an email to your team and was like, okay, yeah, this is me. Like, what do I do next? Like, I feel like this is the first puzzle piece or the first stepping stone. Like, help me. I want to fix this. Can you tell me where I go from here?
Yeah. And that was quite surprising, because then when we met, you told me, and I have your permission to share that you already did like CBT therapy before, you did lots of expensive counseling. I still have my notes here. Counseling, very expensive, emotional, stressful, no resolution, no improvement, no
Yep.
steps, no tools to deal with it. So you have done already a lot, which would normally, it would be completely logical if you felt skeptical. Like,
Mm.
who is this crazy lady? What is she even talking about? I did so much therapy. Why does she think she can do things so fast when nothing before it helped me? So, did you feel skeptical at all, or you were just like, no,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go?
No, I definitely skeptical. And I think because I've had anxiety in the past, so I've tried all those things. So I've done CBT, I've done counseling, I've tried hypnotherapy, homeopathy as well, because I was like, okay, I just want to fix this. Like, I just want to sort this
Oh my
out.
goodness, I didn't even note down all these other
Yeah.
things.
The other things that was when I was like, I don't want to be on medication. I don't want to be in counseling forever because, like you say, when you're like working out your monthly budgeting and stuff, like you just don't want to be paying for those things. Um, And yeah, so I've tried so many different things, and I feel like they're always like a quick fix for a while. Like CBT is really great, and it's really helpful for the short term and when you're first doing it, but it's then applying it in everyday life afterwards. And particularly with counseling, it can be really upsetting and emotional in the moment, and it's like a lot of tears and crying, and then afterwards you're like, okay, well, I got it off my chest, but now what? Like that doesn't really help. It was just really upsetting. Whereas so yeah, so to start off with this, I was really skeptical. And I remember saying to you when we did our first call, I was like, how do I know this isn't a scam? I don't know if you remember me saying that.
I don't actually, because I didn't take it personally. I hear it so often. It's completely normal. So
It feels like it when you first get in touch, and when you were pitching it to me and we were talking about the details and things, and I was saying it just doesn't sound real. Like it sounds too good to be true that I can just do 3 months and then be like, okay, I've fixed all these problems. Um, but I feels like the biggest difference to me is that it's teaching you to coach yourself. So it's not paying a coach to sit there with you and just talk and talk and talk and talk. It's going, here are the tools, you can do it, and constantly reminding you and teaching you that you can do it and giving you the confidence to do it yourself. And the first few times, I learned the tools and tried them. They felt like, not gonna lie, they felt really hard. It felt like such a big challenge to get through, and it was so much emotional stuff to wade through. And it's really overwhelming at the very beginning. And I was thinking, how on earth am I going to unpack all of this? Like, it's so much to look back at and piece together. But the longer I did it, the more I realized that everything was actually linked to the same things. And all those things that I was writing down to try and make sense of were all like the roots of them were all coming back to the same place.
And let me pause there because that's what I love. This is exactly my intention. What I encourage all of our clients to do. You start detangling, because when you're feeling these emotions and then when you realize it's going from your past, then it's like, oh my goodness, like so much. It's like Pandora box. I'm afraid to open it. What's going to jump up at me? I don't want to blame my parents. I love them, right? So it feels so overwhelming. But what I want to everybody to learn, and what you got and you just talked about it, is learn how to be like the detective and go to the roots. We never talk about problems on surface. We never talk like, hey, you're getting stressed out when your toddler is having potty training problems, do this, say that, do this with the potty. Like, no, it's not about your, like, okay, of course do all the potty training stuff, but your anger is yours, and there
Yeah.
is the same root of that anger as in
Yeah.
all the other situations. I don't care what they are and how old your kids are. In you, it goes back to the same thing. So well done for not giving up when it was tough, for trusting in yourself and trusting the process, and for learning it, like staking up long enough with it so that you learn how to take it all to the roots, because indeed, at the end of the day, it all comes back to the same thing. So well done.
Thank
This is
you.
huge celebration. I love it.